Now, if you're a little bit confused about which brush to use for which job, you've come to the right place, because in this video, I'm going to show you a selection of different brushes and their best uses. When I'm choosing a brush for a particular job, I'm looking for three things. I'm looking for the size of the brush, the shape of the brush, and also how soft or hard the bristles or filaments are. It just so happens that all my brushes here are Purdy, but what I want you to be aware of is the different size and shape of the handles to begin with. We've got some quite standard size handles here and here. We've got some quite long and thin handles here, and we've also got quite a short stubby handle here. So these are going to have a big impact on comfort in the hand, and also the kind of job that you're doing, where you might need something that's quite long and thin like this if you're trying to get into a small gap, or if you are in a very confined space, you might need a very short handle. Or if you're going to be using a brush for a prolonged period of time, you might need something that's ergonomic like this, which is going to feel comfortable in the hand for long periods of time. It would be fair to say that if you're covering a very large area, you're going to want a brush that's bigger. Here we've got a whopping 100mm 4-inch brush, and just take a look at that. Hasn't been used yet, but you're going to get some serious amount of paint in a brush like that. Purdy brushes in generally are very wide. That's definitely something to look at when purchasing a brush. If you go for something that's quite thin, it's not going to hold as much paint. So something like this, 4 inches wide, and it's got to be nearly an inch thick that way, is going to really hold a lot of paint and get you a lot of coverage, so you're not dipping in and out of the paint pot too many times. The same range of brush right here, this is a 2-inch, and even though it's a 2-inch brush, it's still quite wide. Not as wide as the 4-inch, but in relation to the size, that is still quite thick. So again, you're probably going to use this for smaller jobs compared to this one, but you're still going to get a whole load of paint in this brush. If we look at these brushes right here, we'll open one up, and what you'll notice here is that a 2-inch, this is also a 2-inch, same as this one, is a lot thinner. So this isn't going to hold as much paint, and there is a reason for that, which I will get to in a moment. And then if we have a look at one of these brushes right here, you'll notice that that is even thinner still. It's thinner than the last one. It's definitely thinner than the 2-inch, and certainly a lot thinner than the 4-inch. Now, I almost want to group all of these brushes together only for the amount of paint that they are likely to hold. See, these ones are also quite thick, and if I just open up this 2-inch one in particular and compare it with this one, they do look very similar in size, although the bristles on this one are just a little bit longer. A lot of the time people are quite happy using a flat or straight edge brush, as we can see here, but sometimes there is a need to get into a very tight spot, into a really sharp corner, and that's when an angled brush can make all the difference, because by using this angled brush you really can get a very fine point. Once this has been soaked in the paint or the stain, that will give you a really crisp, sharp edge compared to this one. You can still achieve it with this one, but this one will just make it a little bit easier and really good for detailing and getting in tiny small areas. If we take a look at this stubby one, which I mentioned earlier, you will notice it is the same thickness as this one, very similar in length, but it has the short handle, which is really convenient for tight spots. What I've seen a lot of people do is cut handles off paintbrushes to make it look something like this. You can tell the difference in size. It's going to make things a lot easier using this. This is a real get out of jail card brush, because it will help you for many, many different jobs. I can assure you of that. So that's a really, really handy brush, short, but again, this one has got the angle on it to get into those really tight corners. These two right here, we've got a 1.5 inch brush and we've also got a 1 inch brush, and both of these are angled, but you can start to see that as they get smaller, these have got really thin handles, they do become quite thin. So these aren't going to hold loads of paint, but you can get some real detailed painting finished and looking really good with these type brushes. I have got one just over here, which I've had for a long time. I've used this one a lot. Doesn't look quite as nice as this one, but it's very similar in a very long handle, very thin, but really good for detailed painting. So what I've done is I've actually put them in an order where the bristles are quite thick to where the bristles are quite thin and fine. And going back to these ones here, if you were to be able to feel this, if this video was in 4D, you might be able to feel it, but maybe just by looking as well, you can see that the bristles in this brush are quite thick and they are quite coarse. Now this is going to be ideal for a thick paint, something like emulsion or even masonry paint. It's going to hold a lot of paint and it's not necessarily going to give you a really smooth finish, because let's face it, masonry paint and emulsion paint is not really designed to give you a really flat finish. So that's the kind of brush that would be good for that kind of paint. Moving on to the next brush here, very similar, but these are finer. They are a bit thinner, they feel a bit smoother, and it looks like there's more of them. So these are still going to be really good for emulsion paints. You might want to use some gloss or satin wood paint with these brushes as well. That would be absolutely perfect, because they're really good for emulsion, but they'll also give you a pretty good finish with some satin wood or gloss or eggshell paints. Moving along onto the next lot of brushes, again, we start to find that the filaments on these are even thinner and finer. On the end of this one in particular, it almost feels furry. It's so soft. You could just brush that on your face and that feels lovely. Okay, you could probably get away with emulsion if it was watered down slightly, but sometimes emulsion can be really thick and gloopy, and when it's like that, this brush isn't really going to be best for it. You would want to move on to something on this side. And then moving down to the last brush here, the fibers on this are super thin, they're really fine, they're really soft. So you wouldn't want to be using emulsion with this kind of thing. You would want to only use stains and varnishes, things, paints and stains that are quite runny. So you're not going to hold a lot of paint in here, particularly emulsion. You'll just ruin it if you put emulsion in that. So this is really varnishes and stains. So just to summarize, basically the thicker the bristle, the thicker the paint. If you think of it that way, you can't really go wrong. This is going to be thick masonry emulsion paint, where right down here this is going to be more like varnishes and stains. If you are interested in the Purdy range, Purdy brushes, I'll leave some links in the description box down below. So I do hope you found this helpful. It can be a little bit daunting sometimes, particularly if you're doing painting for the first time. If you've got any questions, do leave those in the comments box, and I'd love to hear them and answer your questions. Fantastic, I'm done. Happy painting, guys. See you next time.